How is COVID-19 going to affect our economy? What is this cashless society and the mark of the beast that I always hear about? We're going to talk about those things right now.
To open. Yeah, wow.
Well, hey everybody, I'm Bill with Live Simple, Live Free, and this is video 3 in my series, Current Events and Bible Prophecy. In this video, we're going to be talking about economics. We're going to be talking about how the COVID virus is affecting our economics, and we're going to be talking about our coming cashless society and the mark of the beast. What is that? How does it affect us? We'll look at all of that. You know, when I first started prepping, it was because I believed that our national debt, our deficit, couldn't be maintained, and that it was eventually going to collapse and the dollar was going to collapse. And you know, we are now living in what is truly a world economy. We're all connected economically. And a couple of years ago in Europe, in the European Union, there were several countries that almost went under financially. They almost collapsed. And though the other countries in the EU didn't like it, they all stepped in to prop up those countries that were failing, because they knew that we're all connected, and if one or two of them fail, we will all go down. And it has only increased since then. We're truly in a world economy, and if one country goes down, we all go down. And so what is the COVID doing to our economy? Well, we've had a number of years of real boom growth, and the economy has been doing well. But since the lockdown started and businesses were closed and all that kind of stuff, it sent us into a tailspin economically, and it has put our country into a recession. And if it continues, it could truly turn into a depression and a collapse, and that collapse could possibly be worldwide. You know, this virus, this lockdown, is putting people out of work. Do you know people who are out of work, who've lost their jobs, or who have had greatly reduced hours because of it? I know many. And businesses are going out of business. Our Walmart, our local Walmart here, has a strip mall on the other side of the parking lot, and this strip mall has 12 stores in it. Before the pandemic started, all 12 stores were healthy, vibrant, doing well. I just drove past there a couple of days ago, and this is after everything has started to open back up again. And of those 12 stores, 4 of them are now vacant. They have closed, they have cleared out, and they are now vacant storefronts. 2 more of those stores are still full of their stuff, but they haven't opened yet. So that means out of those 12, 4 or 1/3 have completely closed, and 2 more, I don't know if they're going to make it or not. So that's at least 1/3, possibly 1/2 of the stores in that shopping area that are closed because of the COVID. So that means the owners have lost their businesses, they've lost their income, and all of the employees of those businesses have all lost their income. They got to go find other jobs. And this is being played out all over the country, in fact, probably all over the world, that businesses are closing and people are losing jobs. I talked in the last video about the plight of the potato farmer. And the video that I showed about that shows that this one particular farmer that they were talking about had to dump 700 tons of potatoes because they couldn't get to market. And that one particular farmer lost $140,000 this year. and probably won't be able to survive. And the entire potato industry in the Montana, Idaho area has lost over $7 million. Now, many of them will probably end up going bankrupt because they can't survive with the losses this year, and so they go to the bank to try to get some help, some credit. And most of the banks are no longer lending to the old school type farmers like that. They're only investing in new technologies and things, and fake meat and all kinds of other things that, anyway, those farmers, many of them, is a possibility of go out of business, which means not only less food available for us, which is what I was talking about in the previous video, but also crashing of the economy. And what happened to the potato farmers is happening to farmers all over the place. You know, cattle farmers and chicken farmers that have to slaughter their herds because they can't get to market, and all the financial loss there. So this is really scary to bring down. It could possibly bring down the dollar, bring down our economy, and if that happens, it could possibly be a worldwide depression. So that is how the COVID is affecting our economy. But it actually goes much deeper than that, much deeper. Now, there's a lot of debate out there about COVID. Some say that it's a serious pandemic and illness. We have to take it seriously. Other people think it's all political, and it's just about control. And I'm not going to debate that here. This video is not about the politics of COVID. You can think what you want, but though I'm not talking about the politics of it, I am going to be talking about the effects of it. How is it going to affect our lives in the future? And like I said, it's going to be much, much deeper. In fact, Bill Gates says, when historians write the book on the COVID-19 pandemic, what we've lived through so far will probably only take up the first third or so. The bulk of the story will be what happens next. So, what happens next? What's coming? Have you seen signs like this? All of a sudden, businesses are no longer taking cash. Our Walmart here used to give cash back on almost every self-checking machine. You could pay with cash, you could get cash back. They no longer do that. None of them will give or take cash. Only debit cards. And if you go to a live checker, there's only one aisle in our entire store that right now that will receive and give back cash. Every other one will take debit or credit cards only. The reason for that, they say, is that cash is dirty, it's unsanitary, and it spreads the disease. So they're saying that using your debit or credit card is a safeguard against spreading the disease from the virus being on the dollars and on the coins. And many others are doing the same thing. Our local Kroger has stopped taking cash and only debit cards, only credit cards. So, but with that understanding that it's because of their dirty money, you can just assume that once we're through this crisis, they're going to start taking cash again, right? That's just a logical assumption. Not so. These stores that have stopped taking cash will never again take cash. As I was preparing this video, I had a complete outline of what I was going to be saying. And then last night, or yesterday, I came across a video that completely rocked my world, and I want to share it with you. It's talking about what's happening in the technology world regarding our cash and our economy. And I had to completely throw out my outline and start all over again. This video is a video done by a man named Nick Giambruno. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And I need to tell you a little bit about him. He's not a political video. It's not talking about, write your congressman or anything like that. It's not a conspiracy theory. He's not a preacher talking about repent for the end is near. He is a financial analyst. And this video is actually, to be right up front with you, is a video that he did to sell subscriptions to his financial advisor newsletter. And in order to do that, he laid out everything that's happening currently, and then at the end, he shows you how to best invest to protect your money and that sort of thing. So I want you to listen to this video. Probably I'll be honest, it's an involved video. It'll blow your mind. It's about a 1 hour video, and probably the first 30 or 40 minutes, he only is talking about current events, what's happening in technology with our dollar and all of that. And then the last 15 or 20 minutes, he talks about his newsletter. So I am not recommending his newsletter or endorsing it. Whether you buy it or not, that's up to you. I'm not an affiliate, nothing like that. I'm just showing you this video because he takes all of this information and puts it together in one succinct little package that's easy to understand, better than anyone else that I have seen. And I really, really want you to watch this video. I've put a link in my description of my video down below to the website where you can find this video. Go ahead and follow that link and click on the video and watch it. You're going to be aghast. You're going to be overwhelmed. Now, honestly, I don't know how long this video will be up, because its express purpose is to sell his newsletter, and it'll probably be there for a couple months, but then things might change as the situation changes. He could take this one down and put up a new one or whatever. So go ahead and listen to it right now while it's there. But then in the meantime, I'm going to just give you a quick synopsis of the highlights of some of the things that he said in the video. So just to give him credit, all of the graphics and things that you're going to see here in my video for the rest of the video all comes from his video, which I want you to go watch. Now he talks about, and he said in the video, about the bill that Nancy Pelosi was introducing, and it got leaked, and then within a couple hours it came down again. So what is in that bill? Well, here is one page of that bill, and you can see there circled in red, it's introducing the digital dollar. And down below, the digital dollar wallet. The digital dollar wallet is actually an account that you would open with the federal government where you would keep all of your digital dollars. And originally Nancy Pelosi wanted to introduce the digital dollar wallet as the way that they would give the coronavirus stimulus checks to everyone. Well, that didn't happen, but she wanted you to have to be able to open a digital dollar wallet with the federal government in order to get that money. Well, a couple hours after this bill was unleaked, it was redacted, it took down and it disappeared. Just the very next day, a similar bill was introduced in the Senate. So even though Nancy Pelosi's original bill is not going forward, there's another one that's almost identical that's being introduced in the Senate. And business is also involved in this. Here is a patent from Visa, and notice here that this is patenting certain technology that will, and I quote here, it calls for the removal of physical currency from circulation, including physically destroying the physical currency being fiat currency. So Visa is patenting technology that will basically eliminate physical currency and call for the destruction of all physical currency. So we will be only using e-currency, digital currency. Now there's an organization called ID 2020, and they have launched a program that will provide a digital ID to everyone. And what is the purpose of ID 2020? You can go right to their website on id2020.org, and here is their stated purpose. They will be providing e-passports, digital wallets, building access cards, debit and credit cards, banking information, transit passes, voter information, and health records, all in one place for every person on Earth. So here is a campaign to have a chip implanted that will provide all of this wonderful stuff. Makes it so convenient to have everything in one place for every person on Earth. And I can add here that they could also continue to add more things on here, like they could have your complete education records, including your complete transcripts from high school and college. They could have any criminal record that you might have would all be listed there. Now, like I said, this is only a couple of things that are included in Nick Giambruno's video that I want you to watch. And he covers a whole lot more than this in a lot more depth. But and then he says all the information is there. All we have to do is connect the dots. And then he puts up this screen connecting the dots. Dot number 1, Pelosi's digital cash cover-up and a new cash bill are rippling through Congress as we speak. Dot 2, creepy patents from Bill Gates and Visa, along with the Better Than Cash Alliance, show the government has the full support of American large businesses. And dot number 3, to top it off, we've seen how everything is tied together by ID 2020. Now, when you think about it, most people are probably not really going to have a problem with accepting this because of the way it's being done. The pandemic is being used as a cover story to remove cash. People will accept that because they understand, or they think they understand, that money is dirty and it spreads disease. It's more sanitary to use a debit card. So people are just laying aside cash and using their debit cards. And by the time this is implemented, we will have been basically cashless anyway, not because cash is illegal or it's not legal tender, but because stores don't accept cash. So people will get used to not being able to use cash. And let's face it, most of us are on a mostly cash basis anyway, because of the debit card is so easy to use. You don't have to worry about carrying cash around with you. And you know, just recently our granddaughter did something for us around the house, and we paid her a little bit of cash for the job that she did. And I had to run out and get some cash because I hadn't used cash in a long time. And many of you are probably the same way. It's just so much more convenient to use the debit card, so most of us are already cashless. The difference is we're not forced to be cashless. We can go get cash if we want. Now, I don't completely understand how all the logistics of this would work. If we want to pay our daughter some money for something that she does around the house and she's a minor, does that mean she has to have her own digital wallet in order for us to pay her cash or to pay her for the job? Like I said, I have no idea how the logistics of all of that work. I'm sure that will be forthcoming as this system comes into place. But it's so much deeper than that. What it's going to do is actually give the government total control. It's not just about not being able to buy if you don't have an account, a digital account. They will have total control. You see, if it was just the digital dollar where you had to convert your dollars into, put them all in your bank account so you had the credit in there and turn in all your dollars, but everything just continued the way it was using your debit card, that's one thing. We have gone cashless. But it's a whole separate issue of the digital dollar wallet, the federally controlled account for your money. And that's where it gets really scary. Ron Paul says the cashless society allows the government total knowledge of and control over the finances of every American. Think about this. Every time you spend a penny through your digital dollar wallet, the federal government will know about it. You wouldn't be able to make any purchase that they can't track. You wouldn't be able to go anywhere and spend any money without them knowing where you are, what you're doing, what you're spending. Total control. And they would have control over how you spend your money. If they decide, by their own standard, whatever that is, that you're a little bit overweight, they could possibly put a bar on your account so that you cannot purchase any kind of sugary foods or drinks. They would have that kind of control that they could ban things from you for you to be able to purchase them. Yeah, scary, right? And it's not just here in the United States. China already has had in place for quite a while what they call social credit score. Now, every individual has a social credit score, and anything you do that the government doesn't agree with, anytime you don't toe the party line, it lowers your score. The lower your score, the more difficult it is for you to get basic necessities of life. And if you're a rebel against the Chinese government, they can give your score so low that you can't get food, you can't buy a car, you can't find an apartment, all kinds of stuff. And so they have total control, and they are in the process right now, and they are racing toward eliminating cash and going with a digital yuan. And that's in process right now. Sweden is testing new digital currency they call the e-krona, and they introduced this in February, and it's the world's first central bank digital currency. And that's in testing process right now in Sweden and has been since February. And India recently made it illegal, or they took out of circulation all 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. Now these are equal about $8 and about $15 US. But so those are the notes that Indians use all the time. This created massive upheaval, but India is in the process of going cashless. In fact, Bill Gates says, I think India will go digital quite quickly. The world as a whole will go cashless. So that's what's happening, and it's not just here in the United States. But what is the timeline that we are looking at here? Well, in Nick Giambruno's video that I want you to watch, towards the end of it, he documents that the target date for introducing this in the United States, are you ready for this? January 1st, 2021. It's right around the corner, folks. Now, I'm not saying that by January 1st, we all have to be on the new system. What I'm saying is that on January 1st, they will begin to introduce the system and make the digital wallet available to everyone. And is that going to happen? I don't know. I'm not predicting anything. Like I said, nothing's set in stone, and it depends on a lot of things. There's a good chance that that bill will not pass Congress, and then it wouldn't happen on January 1st. But I guarantee you this, if it doesn't pass Congress, they're going to continue pushing, continue working, and it will happen eventually. But for right now, their target is January 1st. Also, something else that I've just realized, I always thought that all of this would come about by government mandate, and the mark of the beast definitely will. When the Antichrist comes into power, it will be government mandate that you must be on this. But for right now, we can go into a cashless society just using debit cards that's not actually the mark of the beast yet. And most of us, or many of us, are already mostly cashless, just using debit cards. And I came to the realization that this is actually being driven by businesses. Visa is pushing it very hard. Many of the banks are pushing it very hard. And when you have stores like Walmart and some of the other big national stores saying that they will no longer take cash, we could push forward into the cashless society even before the government makes the digital wallet available. But the main thing is they're pushing for January 1st, but if that doesn't happen, don't come back to me on January 5th and say, see, you were wrong. All I'm saying, this is their projections. This is where we are headed at this time. Now, I have pretty much understood and known all my life that I would live to see the second coming of Christ, and that I would live to see the Great Tribulation. But it's always been theoretical. It's always been, sometime in the future when I'm old. Well, here I am, almost old. And here it is, right on our doorstep. Bam, there it is. Cashless. And what will probably happen is that they will give some sort of a deadline for some time in the future when physical cash money will no longer be legal tender. And from that point on, no one will be able to accept it. And in fact, stores are already getting to the point where they don't accept it. But when you approach the deadline, you will be required to deposit all of your cash and coin into your bank account. And if you don't do it by that deadline, from that point on, that cash is worthless. You can't legally use it anywhere, and no one will accept it because it can't be used anywhere. So how that exactly plays out, I don't know. That's just one possible scenario, but that's what's coming. So is this cashless society and the digital dollar wallet we are talking about, is this the mark of the beast? No, it's not. It's a major step toward the mark of the beast, but it is not the mark of the beast. You will not be able to be tricked into taking the mark. You will not be able to stupid your way into taking the mark. When you take the mark of the beast, you will know what you are doing. You won't suddenly wake up and discover, oh gosh, I just took the mark of the beast. Let's take a look at scripture in Revelation 13. This says that taking the mark is actually an act of worship of the Antichrist. Okay? Here it's talking about the beast, who is the Antichrist, and then there's a second beast that works along with the Antichrist. And in Revelation 13:14, he says, he ordered them, this is the second beast, he ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast, who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. So the second beast is making an image of the beast, or of the Antichrist. He was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that it could speak and cause all who refuse to worship the image to be killed. So he can actually give breath and cause it to speak. Now, 30 years ago, before the internet, or before the technology boom started, there were so many things that were foretold that we just simply didn't understand how it could be possible. How could you possibly not buy or sell something that, without the mark? We thought it was going to have 666 across your forehead, and if you walk in to buy something and you don't have that, the person won't sell it to you. We had no idea about the whole concept of digital cash. We just figured we'd use regular cash, but somebody wouldn't buy from you or sell from you. Also here, we had no idea how he could cause the beast, the image of the beast, to animate. Now we know. I mean, good grief. Robotronics, robots, AI, holographic images. There's all kinds of different ways that we have technology now that would allow this to happen. So it says he was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that it could speak and cause all who refuse to worship the image to be killed. So he's going to raise this image up, he's going to animate it, and cause everyone in the world to worship the beast. And anyone who does not worship the beast, he will cause that person to be killed. He also forced everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on his right hand or his forehead, so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark. So receiving the mark right here is attached to the worship of the beast. So the beast will be revealed, the beast will be animated, be able to talk, and at that time the mandate will be here: worship the beast, receive the mark of the beast. It's all wrapped up. So for that reason, I say this is not the mark of the beast, but it is definitely a stepping stone toward the mark of the beast, because we could go cashless worldwide without actually worshiping the beast or being a part of the beast's system. But it's getting that system in place, and then the beast will rise, the beast, the Antichrist, will rise to power and mandate that everyone worship him and be a part of his economic system. So, yeah, it's coming, it's scary, but the mark of the beast is not here yet. We will be talking about that in the next video. So, this is all very scary. It can be depressing, it can be terrifying, it can be devastating. But it's not all bad news, because you see, this means Jesus is coming back. The second coming, as prophesied for thousands of years, is happening right before our eyes. Now, in the next video, I will talk a lot about, I will wrap this all up and take everything that I've been talking about for the past couple of videos, show you exactly where it applies to Scripture, how it fits into the Great Tribulation, and I will talk about how to prepare for this, what preps you need to do, and I will talk about the ultimate prep that you must do in order to survive this. So I hope you will join me there, because this is probably the most important series that I've done since I've had YouTube, and the video that I will do tomorrow about the ultimate prep is the most important video that I've ever done. So I hope you will join me then. Look for it tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Live simple, live free, you be blessed. See you tomorrow. Oh, and of course, if you want to get all the details of what's happening, not just the overview that I gave, please go down below to the link to Nick Giambruno's video and watch that for all the details.